For the second year in a row, the fall trekking season in Nepal was deeply affected by monsoon rains that seem no longer tethered to the normal calendar. Worse than last year, the monsoon ended 5 weeks late. Heavy rains caused massive flooding, landslides, and destruction. A cyclone also hit the Himalayas in late October, dumping huge amounts of snow, stranding thousands of trekkers and climbers, causing hypothermia and loss of life. This helicopter crashed in Lobuche, attempting a rescue. On this trek, during what is normally peak season, I met trekkers limping down from the mountains, dejected that they hadn't seen a single thing on their trips.
Hello, I'm here at last in Machakola. We just finished our 7-hour drive from Kathmandu. The most difficult, bumpy, jarring, impossible road for the last 3 hours that you can imagine. And the only way I can emphasize is that if Dr. Ismende knew what I've been through for the last 3 or 4 hours, I don't think he would have ever let me come. But we're here. So this is the beginning of our trek. They say that the journey of 1,000 miles starts with your first step. And these are our first steps. And we got 110 miles to go. Wow, oh yeah, beautiful. Look at the rainbow, awesome. Wow, Hey, Doris. How we doing?
Hello, Paul. How are you?
I'm doing good for an old guy.
Me also. It's my house, and I always live it in Nepal, and therefore every year I have to come back for making housekeeping.
For you.
It's a story.
So everybody, this is Doris. Doris is from Germany, right?
Yeah.
And she is my trekking partner because we're both on the permit together. Two people have to be on the permit, and Doris is the person that's on my permit with me. And I just bumped into her here in the middle of nowhere. Morning, everybody. Beautiful morning here in Little Jagat. We're up today early, hitting the road here around 7:30, 8 o'clock. Feeling good, ready to go. We're on our way to Deng. Deng. Should be about the same as yesterday, hopefully a little shorter. And that's it. Ready for another big day. Let's go.
The day was pleasant enough until we crossed the bridge you see below and continued to a valley on the other side of the hill on the right. You will see it in a few moments. And here is where everything changed. One of the truly amazing things we saw on our trek was this scene of men actually trying to build a road on the massive cliffs on the opposite side of the river. A road to Tibet, they say. Unbelievable. We finally reached the river and crossed this high bridge. The terrain changed completely on the other side, and we spent the next 4 to 5 hours crossing landslide after landslide and finally reaching Dang.
This is the highest bridge I've ever been on. Shoot, this is hard. No way. Okay, I'm good. Thank you, Jake. On the landslide hit parade, there's landslides everywhere. This whole stretch for the last mile or two has been all landslides. And here's another one. I don't know how this trail ever got opened up. Anyway, this is just one more example of another landslide. We've had like 2-3 hours straight of a landslide every few hundred feet. This one's absolutely immense. You can see how high up it started. And there you have it. We have arrived in Dang. Dang. Okay, so we are on our way to Namrung. It's about 8:30 in the morning. We just had a really steep climb up from the river way down there. And this is what we have in store for us. It's a beautiful day. Let's go. Hola. Hola. Hello, Mr. Kangaroo. Hi, this is my friend Doggy. Let's play. Bam, bam. Bam, 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 bam. Ooh, that's fun. Let's go for a walk. How much fun is that, huh? Is that fun? Hey, buddy, I just want you to know you're eating cardboard. It's a cardboard box that you're eating for breakfast. Okay? Just want you to know that. Well, we're on our way this morning to Lo, which is going to be about half the distance that we've been doing. So we're going from Namrung to Lo. Okay, let's go. Good morning, everybody. It is Saturday morning, and we're just leaving Low, and I think it's day 9. I'm not sure. I'm losing track. Anyway, we're on our way to Samagon, which is about 5 hours away and about 2,000 feet higher. We'll end up over 12,000 when we're done. It's a beautiful day. Let's go. Okay, you can tell by the sound of the river that we have been hiking down now for half an hour or so. We've lost all of our altitude gain and we're back down to the river again. And of course, there it is. Which is good news that we don't have to go down anymore, but bad news because that means we have to start going back up again. That's just the way it works. Okay, after about an hour of straight up, look at this. We are getting there. I don't know what that is over there. Absolutely beautiful. Hello. I agree. Yep. Manaslu. Okay, so it's early afternoon now here on Saturday, and we've left Shayala where we had a leisurely beautiful lunch. That is one of the most scenic places in the world, I have to say. So now we crossed a bridge, we're heading up. We're over 12,000 feet, I think now, for the first time. And we just passed our first ice on the trail. So we're getting up there. It's affecting our breathing more. And so we're about to cross what looks like an immense bridge that you can see there in front of me. On our way to Samagon. Let's go. Gee, this could be our book opportunity. A story with me.
के भने बुझ्यौ
बुझेन
तिमी चाहिँ उसँग स्टोरी पढ्न चाहन्छौ
That's a story.
यस
Where
Let's
should we
read.
sit? Over here? Gare. Bailo balule chade nariwalko ruko talo padma garbanayo udinvari kira kana ra sutna chahantyo garbanayo udinvari paudi kelna ra aram garna chahantyo. Ooh. Bagle bahilo bailule tekyo ruko afno garbada tala ayo ukarayo natravane moyo ruk alayera talai kasalita shu balule jawabdiyu matala audina mero golo golo panjako nagrale tekera ta aude audina Taride afno baeko gasma vayeko gartafa bagyo. Vayenkar bagle uslai laketyo. Afno aglo gasko garbata baira ayo uchichayo. Natrava ne ma gasma ufriera timi arulai baira nikalne chu. Balu arule jawati. Tin ota balule afno panja chate. Rat despachi gura tale. Rat despachi tini aru sadai kusi vayare base. There. What do you think? Okay, so this stream that runs down through the town also runs this mill, and Jeet is going to show us how that works.
water
Okay, so the water is diverted. Oh my God! Namaste! I want to see your beautiful machine here. Look at this! She's grinding the barley. The water comes down the chute and turns the wheel. Now that's something you don't see every day. Had to be up the stairs, right? Okay, I'm not trying to brag or anything, but this room is awesome. And I have a private bathroom, and I have a toilet, an actual toilet, okay? All right. Great news. Thank you, Jeet.
We've been trekking now for about 2.5 hours. We're up to around 12,600 feet, and you can see the glacier coming down from Manaslu right there. And there are pieces, large pieces, that are breaking off, and when they break off it sounds like a gunshot. And then we can also hear avalanches from further up that kind of rumble in a big way, so it does get your attention. Hello everyone. It's getting to be around 1 o'clock and we have made it to 14,000 feet, and this is as far as we're going to go because it's very hard and we still have to get down. So we have made it to 14,000 feet, which I'm super happy about. There's no way we would have made it to Manaslu base camp. We would need another 2 or 3 hours anyway, but it's just a spectacular day, and I'm so happy to be up here. I can't believe we climbed all the way up around the other side of that, and then up to those upper cliffs way up there. That was a hell of a day. Okay, we have just left Samagon, where we've been for 2 nights, including our first acclimatization hike yesterday, which was a monster day. Fantastic, really. So, onwards to Samdo, let's go. Go get them, buddies. Our second acclimatization day turned out to be our second most difficult day. After 10 hours of difficult trekking, we limped back into our tea house at 6 p.m., just about exhausted. As often happens, only later did the humor of the day dawn on me, and I will explain as we progress. Our goal for the day was to trek to the Tibet border, and though quite ambitious, we almost made it. The trouble started on our way back, as you will see. Let's go. It is now 1 p.m., and we have reached our farthest and highest point at 14,510 feet. The snow dropped by the previous week's cyclone was too deep. Walking was exhausting, and not enough trekkers had passed to pack down the snow and make a trail. Jeet at one point nearly sank to his hips. We had a long walk back down, and it was time to turn back. Tibet, by the way, is just over the hill you see above on the right. We almost made it. We had a long walk to get back by dark, and the going was slow. But from the morning, we knew the snow and the ground further down were frozen solid, and walking would be easy. Wrong again. The warm sun had turned the snow and ground into a slush and mud fest that only made things worse. Was it frustrating? All I can say is that my porter, Padam, can now swear fluently in English, and I am the new record holder for the longest trekking pole toss of 2025. At 6 p.m., we finally collapsed in our beds to rest for the next day's adventures. Dharamsala is nothing more than a high-altitude encampment for trekkers attempting to cross the Larkye Pass. It consists of 2 small buildings, a couple of outhouses, and a large number of tents. It sits at 14,700 feet. Due to the previous week's cyclone, the pass was closed for several days. We knew that Dharamsala would be packed with trekkers who had waited for the pass to reopen. A small tent was the best we could hope for. The climb to Dharamsala is spectacular. Let's take a look.
been climbing now for a long time, straight up. Really cold, really windy. And every time you get to the top of a little rise and you think you're getting somewhere, you face this, which just never stops. You can see that there are people way up there at the top, very tiny. I'm going to turn this around. Probably just be able to see the sun, but we are up in the middle of nowhere. Okay, we've gone 5 hours. This is what we have left. We got to get up this mountainside right here. You can see people way up there. That's what we have left. Oh boy. That was a tough one, G.
In this very windy clip, I am expressing my deep gratitude to Jeet and Padam for their guidance and support at my side every step of this trek. To this point, we have walked over 95 miles together and climbed nearly 3 miles into the air. We now stand higher than many of the giant mountains we looked up at in our first few days. And we all add a big shout out to the beautiful country of Nepal. It was around this time that I began to falter from fatigue and lack of food and water. We stopped at the bottom of this valley for a rest and some soup and water. Refreshed, we were able to complete our march down to Bimthang in another 2 hours. After yesterday's monstrosity, G took pity on me and changed today's destination to the village of Tilje. This reduced today's distance from 13 miles to 11.4. As always, this was very thoughtful of Jeet and gave us time to enjoy the exceptional beauty of this last stretch. Our descent today would be 4,000 more feet down, making our total descent over 9,000 feet, or almost 2 vertical miles down in only a day and a half. Well, just a quick comment here is I just can't understate the intense pleasure of being in this forest is just fantastic. I'm so grateful for this day. Good morning. I just wanted to make a note. Right now it's about 11 o'clock in the morning. We're coming down from Bimtang, and sort of an amazing fact here. Yesterday, at this exact time, we were at 17,000 feet. Freezing cold, heavy winds, and here we are one day later at 10,000 feet. We've gone down 7,000 feet. It's kind of amazing. Hey, buddies. Whoa. Hi, you.
We're on the last leg of our last day. It's been about 8 hours so far, hiking downhill the whole way. Quads are doing good though, thank goodness. And we are heading for the next town, which is Tilje. So it's been a long day, and yeah, I'm tired, but there's a big part of me that doesn't want it to end either. It's now 5 o'clock in the afternoon, 9 hours after we started, and we are arriving at our destination, Tilje, which will be the end of our magnificent trek.